Hello, I'm Michael Mayer from VocalWisdom.com, and I want to thank you for your interest in my virtual voice class. As I say on my website, my interest is in exploring the true nature of the voice and developing the natural voice. I'm not so interested in so-called techniques and methods that tend to limit singers to only one style of singing. So because of that, you won't be finding any kind of technique. Instead, what I'll be presenting will be fundamental principles of how the voice functions naturally, which then we can apply to any style of singing that we're interested in doing, even to public speaking. These fundamental principles are based on how the vocal instrument is designed by nature to produce vocal sound. By understanding these principles, we can use them to transform our body into a musical instrument, and that ultimately is what we're interested in doing. When we've made our body into a musical instrument, singing becomes a much more immediate and spontaneous expression. And that's really when we start to find the highest level of artistry. Now, I want to give a basic overview of how this class is going to happen. First off, it might be obvious this is going to be a video-based class, hence the virtual. It will be completely accessible through this website, and you will be able to log in and have access to one class per week. It'll be that will be the basic schedule, much like you would have if you were to sign up for a class in person. The difference is that you'll access it at home. It'll be all on your own time schedule. And a kind of a secondary benefit to this is that you will have access to all the previous classes that you've had as you go along. So unlike a class that you go to and you're dependent completely on how effective you are at taking notes to remember what you learned in that class, here you'll be able to go back and actually see the actual presentation for as long as you are taking the class. Each class, like I said, will be once a week, and each class will be made up of two components in general. And one component will be concepts, fundamental concepts, as I said, concepts that we need to learn in order to learn how to think and conceptualize our musical instrument, how to make that transformation of the body into a musical instrument. And we have to understand a lot of aspects that go into that. So it's not just about sing like this. We have to understand things in order to make this happen. And then the other basic component of each class will be an exercise that will generally relate to the concept that was presented in that class. It's a lot like in a class that you sign up for and you go to a voice class, you very regularly would cover, say, a chapter from a textbook, whatever textbook that class is using. You cover a chapter of it, and that, whether it be about breathing or it is about resonance or whatever, however the class is arranged. And so there'll be a topic for that class, and then you'll do some exercises and maybe even do a little bit of performing. That's the one place where this situation might seem a little bit limited, because you don't get the opportunity to perform with your fellow classmates or for your fellow classmates like you would in a regular voice class. I hope that the benefit outweighs the outweighs that limitation. The benefit of this information that is not really widely understood or widely used, it really will benefit whoever decides to use it. But one thing that I've thought of that would be at least partially making up for that limitation is what I'm calling checkup videos. And so once a month, every class member will have the opportunity to record themselves demonstrating where they are in the process, in their development, demonstrate some exercises, demonstrate singing a song or a part of a song, to show us how how you are assimilating and absorbing the concepts and putting them into practice. And then it gives you a chance then to get feedback from me on that performance, and how you are, how effectively, how accurately you're putting these things into action. The other part that is challenging is that this is going to be completely done and run by myself. So, so I've got to do everything, but at the same time, that will allow me to give much more personal attention, at least to a certain degree, because if somebody has a question and you send it in, if you write it in on an email or anything, that's going to go right to me, and I'll be able to answer it, and you'll be able to get your questions answered directly, which is very different than if you bought a box set of DVDs, some DVD course. Everything's permanently recorded, and you just you sink or swim based on your own ability to interpret what's been presented on the DVDs. This is going to have at least some degree of interaction, in the sense that you'll be able to ask questions or even make suggestions if you have ideas about the class, and maybe some ways to improve it, or some things to include that might make it better. So those are all very welcome. And if I develop something new, I can put that in there rather than just being a permanent class that never changes, just like on the DVDs, it's published and that's it. If something new or a better way of explaining something comes up, I'll record a new video and put it out there for everybody to have access to. Like I said, this is completely me. I'm producing this myself. I want it to be simple. I don't want it to be real professional, slick, and with all kinds of marketing and everything. This is really about finding a way to communicate my understanding and approach to the voice that has already benefited a lot of people. This is a way for me to try to reach more people, and reach people that maybe can't, for whatever reason, meet with me personally, live. Most of my consultations are done on Skype with people from all over the world, but that's still live interaction. Costs a little bit more because it's personally me working with you. So this is a way that's much more affordable, real bargain. You get the same information, and it's probably going to be organized even a little bit better because of the nature of it. But because I'm producing this myself, you're going to have to live with a basic production value. Nothing real fancy. It's just basically what you see right now is going to be ultimately the typical situation. It's just me and the camera in my little makeshift video studio here. So, it's nothing fancy, but it's the information I hope that people recognize is the real important part to this whole thing. So if you have any questions, and like I said, suggestions even, I'd be happy to hear them. You can use the comments area at the bottom of the page here, and I'd love to hear from you. I'm hoping that, I have high hopes for this class in being something that's a benefit for singers, and also for teachers to use with their students as a kind of foundation for their own teaching, to cover things that maybe they can't cover in the lessons. Because, I mean, voice teachers know, I'm sure, that across all walks of life and with voice teachers, there's always not enough time. So this is a way for students and singers of all types to supplement their personal study with whatever teacher they're using. So I hope people can see that possibility too. So I'm looking forward to you joining our class and getting started at redefining your voice. All right, thanks a lot. We'll talk to you soon.